Howdy, I'm Nate, and today we're going to be going over how to build this patio chair, and we're going to be using a SketchUp model to be able to go over all the different dimensions and instructions. This is going to be a dry video, meaning not very entertaining. So you'll get to know me a little bit more, but it's not going to have music or anything. First off, this chair, like I said in my previous video when I made this chair, this is inspired or adapted from Katie Jackson's chair in Hand-Built Outdoor Furniture. It's a great book with some pretty neat projects. I recommend checking it out. She's not sponsoring this video. Neither is Home Depot. So some of the adaptations that I made for the chair are to be able to accommodate a standard size patio chair cushion. So this is a standard cushion size of 22 inches wide by 20 inches deep. Let's take a few looks at the chair itself. One of the things to be noted about the chair is that it is built using some common dimensioned lumber that can be found at home centers. 1x2, 1x4, and 1x6s. I like that about the chair because for introductory woodworkers that want to accomplish something fun like making your own patio furniture, it sure puts this within reach. One of the alterations I did in style was to taper the arm support or the armrest. As I said, I also made it wider. I changed the depth and I shortened it just a little bit so that way it'll fit the standard height of 20 inches as well for backing for an armchair. Here is the whole process from start to finish on building the chair. We're going to start by taking a quick look at the chair in a colorized fashion, so that way you can see all the different and unique parts, or similar. The apron will be made out of 1x4 lumber. The actual dimensions are 3/4 inch by 3.5 inch. The lengths you can see on the screen, so in the sake of not being too repetitive, I'll leave you to look at those and try to remember to talk about other things that might be more noteworthy. The sides of the apron are made by 1x4 as well. And then the slats, which will make up the seat, the backrest, and the stretchers for the legs, are made out of 1x2, which is an actual dimension of 3/4 by 1.5. We're going to need 18 of those. The stretcher itself will be put together with butt joints, where the sides, I call that stretcher, I mean the apron, where the sides of the apron will butt up into the front and back of the apron. Now you can secure these together by drilling through the front into the end grain. Not the strongest, but I recommend also using wood glue. That way the screws will work as clamps and it'll be a little bit stronger. We're going to do other things to this chair that'll strengthen this joint. Try to keep things square and counterbore your holes and plug them. Go ahead and sand them if you'd like right now. Make them look good. With the hardware as well, you should use a 1.25 inch exterior grade deck screw, so to speak. And you should, well, I'll think of it in a minute. Add the slats. We're going to add 11 slats to the apron. the front slat be flush to the front and the back slat flush as well. Go ahead and space them all equally. The spacing I used was 0.35 of an inch, which is slightly less than 3/8, but 3/8 is all this software knows right now. The front slats will get 2 screws each, and then the middle slats will get 1 screw on each side, and the back slat will get 2 screws again on each side, like the front. With the slats right here, this face that's facing the other faces, that's hard to reach once you've attached the slat. So if you'd like, you could add some of your finishing work to it, so that way when you touch it up, it's not so hard to get a brush in there and paint the whole thing or stain the whole thing. With that, make sure to plug and sand the plugs smooth before moving on to the next step, as it makes it easier in the end. Let's talk about the front legs and the back legs. The front legs are right here in this light purple, made out of 1x4. And then the back legs are made out of 1x6. So this is our only use of 1x6. You can see the whole process of shaping these legs right here. Now, of course, 1x6's actual dimensions are 3/4 by 5.5 inches. And 1 6-foot length of 1x6 will be enough to cover you for this project. Now we're going to draw out our shape right here to be able to accept, to be able to get that back, because the legs extend to being the back support. So I draw 2 inches in. You can make a mark. And we're going to go up 15 inches and make a mark across and go from this point up, let's see, to here. So 2 inches in from this edge, and that's both at the 15-inch mark. And do the same thing onto the top edge, where we're going to do a 2-inch line and go from corner to inside edge and this edge to outside edge. So now we cut that out and we have a chevron shape. And what we want to get is a right angle here on these ends, because this is going to be contacting the ground, and we want the leg to go vertically straight up. So you can use a framer square or a tri-square, combination square. There's all sorts of squares to find that line. The computer's telling me that it's 7/16 of an inch up all the way down to the corner. And then on the top side, it's telling me that it's 5/16. And that's on the inside of the chevron again. And you'll want 2 of those, just like that. For this, you might want to use a jigsaw or crosscut saw. It's fairly close to a rip, but perhaps a rip saw wouldn't be appropriate. Next thing we have to do is attach them. We'll attach the front and back legs to the apron with a couple screws, countersunk or counterbored with plugs. Say about 3 would be nice. And in order to line it up with the apron, the top of the apron should meet up right to the leg at 15 inches. And back here, we can take a closer look at this connection, and you can notice that the bend right here where we change angles is above the 15-inch mark. And the back side, the bend is below the 15-inch mark. So don't use either of those to gauge what 15 inches is. Otherwise, you will miss the mark. Next, we'll want to put on the stretchers below the legs. The stretchers should be wider than they are tall when they're attached, and the bottom edge should be about 4.5 inches from the floor. And do the same thing with the back side. You want them inset, and you can attach those with a couple screws and wood glue if you'd like. The wood glue is probably not necessary, but sometimes you want something bomb-proof. Next, we have the back slats. I decided to use 5 because I like using odd numbers, when I can at least. And they're attached flush to the side. And then the spacing, I tried to keep the same spacing that I had on the seated area, which was 0.35 for me, and the computer's telling me 3/8 again. The horizontal armrest support. That's what I call this piece. It's made out of 1x2. So besides the slats, this is the only other part made out of 1x2. And we got our length. Now the thing about the slats that you should know is that they could almost be better cut at this point by measurements of your chair rather than the measurements I'm giving you, because these are perfect measurements and we all make error. So I definitely suggest checking your measurements against what you're actually cutting out at this point. And after you have them cut out, you'll want to add this angle, which can be done after attaching it to the chair with a flush cut saw. And this angle right here matches the angle that you'd get from the back rest. And it's telling me that on the what will be the lower side, 3/8 of an inch wedge cut out there. And give you something like this, where the bottom side that'll be is shorter than the top side that is. And we'll attach that level to the chair and flush to the top of the front legs, and it'll go to the back legs right here. As you see, this angle matches perfectly with the backrest angle. And so this is what I'm saying. You can actually attach it to the front legs, attach it to the back legs. You could even use a pencil, mark the line, and then remove the piece and cut it, and then reattach it. Be a very accurate way of doing it. You sand it nice and flush. Or if you're really confident in your measurement skills, cut it beforehand. The last piece of the puzzle is making the armrest itself. This is done with 1x4. We're going to need 2 of them, 1 for each side. A note quickly is I did some coloration inside this square to the bottom side and made it pink because I flipped it over here so that way I could easily show you this angle. So I hope that doesn't confuse you too much. These are flipped upside down along one axis. Okay, let's get over here. So Katie, she left hers rectangular. I've added a taper right here. Just find 2 points. So many inches in here and so many inches back there. You could change up the taper however you'd like. You could have the taper short or very long. And with the taper cut out, we're going to need to match that angle of the backrest again by cutting that 3/16 out. Or you can line up the chair like we did like I previously suggested with the horizontal armrest support and draw it out with a pencil to make sure that it goes very flush. With that angle cut out, we're going to want to cut out an angle or block here, which will be a parallelogram, that will accept the back rest. So that way the arm rest right here, this edge comes and boom, that is the back rest now. So 3 inches and 9/16 in. We're going to measure that from the top and the bottom. We can connect those lines, and so this line here is parallel to this one. This one's parallel to that one, but we don't have any right angles here. And when those get cut out, as you can see the pink here, as we're oriented correctly again, it'll look something like this. So we got flush here, got our taper. If we flip it up and turn it around, woohoo! We could zoom into the inside, and I could see it matches perfectly with the backrest support. So I think I said everything I wanted to say about this project. I hope you enjoyed this video. If this video was helpful, please let me know. I'm considering doing more videos like this, as I am a video creator first. Content like this I like to experiment with in video form. I'm also considering making a PDF, yet I don't have any place to put my PDF yet because my website is still in the works. So keep an eye out. I'll be announcing my website when it's up, and I'll have PDF plans available too if there's interest for that. As a note, I've created a second channel. I don't have content yet for that second channel, but I wanted to let you know about it in case you wanted to subscribe to be alerted when I do have content for it. The second channel will probably be a little bit drier like this video and may host more videos like this if there's not enough interest for me to keep them on my main channel. Ta for now, my friends.